Hello everybody, and welcome to the Republic of Mathematics book review. I'm your host, Gary Ernest Davis. Today we're going to be looking at a book that deals with the topic of cryptography. The book is called The Crypto Club, and it's subtitled Using Mathematics to Make and Break Secret Codes. It's a paperback book of 200 pages. It was published in 2006 by A.K. Peters of Wellesley, Massachusetts, and the book's list price is $39. Currently it's selling on Amazon for $37.26 plus postage. So this is approximately a $40 book. The authors of the book are Janet Beisinger and Vera Pless. Janet is a professor at the Institute of Mathematics and Science Education at the University of Illinois, Chicago, and Vera is a research mathematician in the mathematics department at the same university, and Vera specializes in her research in cryptography. So these two authors are very well placed educationally and mathematically to write a book such as this. The book is aimed at middle school students, and I want to talk to you about the contents and what I want to call is the wow factor for the book. Why am I interested in the wow factor? Well, this is a paperback book. It's aimed at kids and it costs $40. So you as a parent or as a teacher want to know, what are you going to get, how much bang are you going to get for your $40 from this book? I want to tell you what it is about this book that might wow you. Okay, so let's look at the structure of the book. Well, as I said, there are 200 pages. In those 200 pages there are 20 chapters, so that's roughly 10 pages per chapter. Those 20 chapters are laid out into 7 sections. The very first section, section 1, which is the first 3 chapters, is a simple introduction to cryptography. It deals with the simplest of all coding schemes, which are substitution codes, where letters are substituted one for another. For example, a shift cipher simply shifts all the letters along a certain amount. For example, along an amount 3. So the letter A would be moved along 3, would go from B to C to D. So A would be replaced by D, and then B by E, and so on, until you reach the end of the alphabet when you come back in a circle. The earliest of these is the Caesar cipher, used if not invented by Julius Caesar approximately 2,000 years ago to send messages to his generals in the field. These substitution ciphers are easily cracked by frequency analysis. If one knows the frequency of letters in the alphabet, for example that E is the most commonly occurring letter in the English alphabet, then if one has a long piece of coded text that is coded by a substitution cipher, then one looks for the most commonly occurring letter. If that happens to be a W, for example, it's a good bet that W was the letter that was substituted for E. So the first 3 chapters deal with this topic in detail and introduce students to frequency analysis of secret codes. The very last chapter, the very last section, which is 3 chapters again, deals with public key cryptography. Now, public key cryptography is a fundamental core aspect of modern society. It is the basis on which all modern coding is done. That coding deals with issues such as your credit card and your debit card. When you put your card into your ATM machine, public key cryptography comes into play. When governments exchange secrets, public key cryptography comes into play. When you type in your password, your email password or your Amazon password, public key cryptography comes into play. So the authors, in my opinion, have been ambitious. They're ambitious in starting from almost nothing, working their way through to a topic as central as public key cryptography, which underlies a lot of modern society. All right. So the book is set up as a book to be used in class. So for example, the book has lots of problems. There are problems and questions. It looks like a book to be used as a text. It also has a really interesting feature of pages called Do You Knows. So here's a do you know about the Civil War and the use of secret codes in the Civil War in the United States. Other do you knows include Lewis and Clark's expedition to the West, Sherlock Holmes' story of the mystery of the dancing men, and non-secret codes such as ISBNs used by book publishers and librarians. The topics, the mathematical topics that the book deals with include positive and negative numbers, decimals and percentages, data analysis, probability, frequency analysis, prime numbers and their factorization and the factorization of whole numbers, and modular or clock arithmetic. In some sense, the book is really a book about modular and clock arithmetic, because once we move beyond the first 3 chapters, frequency analysis doesn't play much of a role in coding or decoding secret messages. It's basically modular arithmetic that is dealt with. When I lived in England some years ago, prior to 1995, from 1995 to 2000, I lived in England. I worked with a teacher, Nigel Smith, who taught at Twyford School near Winchester in Hampshire. And Nigel and I would work a lot with kids on curriculum development to make the math more exciting and more interesting for them. And one of the topics that really worked was cryptography. The kids loved it. They loved forming groups and sending secret messages to and from each other and trying to crack those secret messages. So the topic works. It's highly motivated math. The book moves ahead through the tales of an imaginary crypto club formed in school. So this gives a nice setting to the book and gives it a context for the math. One of the things I think about this book is that there is really too much in it for a semester. There's way too much in my opinion. The reason is that there is a lot of work to do. So the decoding and the coding takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of time to actually, by hand, code a long message, and much more time to decode a long message. As importantly, the ideas in the book take some digestion, and for middle school students this takes a while. In my opinion, this book would be better used over at least 2 semesters, maybe once or twice a week over 2 semesters. The book has been tested by the authors in a number of settings. They've tried it in regular math classes, in gifted math classes, in remedial math classes, in after-school classes, in math clubs, and also in a museum camp. And another place in which the book would be very useful, in my opinion, would be for homeschooling parents. Parents who are homeschooling their kids regularly meet with other kids to exchange ideas and to work together in groups. This book would form a fantastic basis for a year-long project in the writing and cracking of secret codes for homeschooling parents and their kids. I think this book is a fantastic resource for teachers and parents trying to motivate their kids into math. The motivation is built in. It's an inherently interesting topic and most kids will want to get involved with it. So what's my view of the wow factor of this book? I think in terms of motivation, it ranks way up there. It's tops. It's an inherently interesting topic and kids will just can't believe that you can do math. Good math, strong, hard, central math in such an exciting way. The setting of the book in terms of a crypto club is also very intriguing, and I rate that pretty highly as well. I think where the book falls down is in the length of the exercises in the book. If a group of students is going to decode a 2-page message, that will take a long time and a lot of effort to do by pencil and paper. And trying to crack someone's code will take a lot longer. So that is one thing that has a less of a wow factor for the book itself. However, to the rescue comes the book's website. The authors have very, very sensibly set up a website which is cryptoclub.math.uic for University of Illinois Chicago.edu. And on that website, the authors have set up a bunch of computational tools. It's very easy to use, very obvious and very straightforward. And those computational tools allow students to take the grunt work out of writing codes and cracking codes. So when you take the package of the book together with the website comes free with the book. Take that package together, and then bear in mind that there is also a teacher manual to assist teachers and parents to guide students through a course in this book. I think for $40, this is really good value. So I think the wow factor for the package, particularly the book and the website, is great. I think this is a terrific book. I would rate it 95 out of 100. Well, that's it from the Republic of Mathematics book reviews for today. I'll see you next time.